Getting your Illinois leasing license is one of the fastest ways to start earning in real estate, and most people are overthinking it. I passed my exam on the first try in 30 days while working full time. I'm Kayla. I'm a licensed Illinois real estate agent, and I spent years as a leasing agent in Chicago's most competitive buildings. I know this process from both sides as someone who went through it and someone who's worked alongside agents who wasted months doing it the wrong way. In this video, I'm breaking down every single step: the course, the exam, finding your brokerage, and the cost, so you know exactly what to expect, what to do first, and stay to the end, because I'm telling you the one thing that trips people up on the exam, and it's not what you think. Why a leasing license specifically, not a broker's license? So the biggest difference is with leasing, you can only do residential renting and leasing. You cannot do purchasing as far as listing a property, selling a property, commercial, conducting yourself in the purchases. You can just do rentals. So the biggest reason to start here is because to get this license, you only need 15 hours of pre-licensing coursework versus for the broker's license, you need 75 hours. You can study 3 hours a day for a week, sit for the exam, pass the exam, and boom, now you're able to start earning commissions. So what can you actually do with a leasing license? How does it work? So let me give you an example. Let's say you have a friend named John. John's looking for a one-bedroom for $3,000 and you're his friend. You find him on Facebook, you find him however you find him on Instagram, and you find him an apartment. Once you find him that apartment and facilitate the deal, the building, the owner, whoever is looking for a renter will pay you a commission directly. So they pay up to 1 month's rent, and you have the potential to earn up to $3,000 on helping John find an apartment. A lot of people are moving to Chicago. A lot of people are always looking to move within Chicago. A lot of people struggle to find apartments. So it's a great hustle to be able to help people bridge that gap, and then you get paid for it. And you can do all of this with just a leasing license. Okay, so you're wondering, yeah, I can do that. Okay, what's next? So what do you actually need to get started? You have to be 18 years old, have a high school diploma or equivalent, your GED. You have to complete 15 hours of pre-licensing coursework. You have to pass the exam, and then you have to find a licensed sponsoring broker to hire you. Then you just submit your application and fees to the IDFPR, which stands for Illinois Department of Financial and Professional Regulation. Okay, so you're 18 and over. You have your high school diploma or your GED. Now you're like, where do I complete the coursework? There's plenty of options. There's online options that exist where you can do a self-paced class where basically they give you all the material, you can self-study. We live in a digital world, so now you can do webinars where you can sign up online. You'll have a teacher on a screen like this on Zoom that will walk you through how to pass the exam, learning through the coursework. Or you can do in person. I like in person personally because I know of a class where you can go and literally do it in 2 days. You go, let's say Thursday, Friday, take the weekend, Saturday and Sunday to study, and then Monday you can go in and sit for the exam, pass on the first try, boom, now you're basically almost done and you have your leasing license and you can get started. And I always say the time is now because it's April now. So now the busy season is coming as the weather is finally getting a break. If you don't know, it's been cold and rainy. Okay, focus. So let's talk about what the coursework actually covers and how intense it is, because I think a lot of people, get anxiety before an exam, or they get worried, or they overthink it. This is what the course entails. Understand the license requirements for obtaining the leasing license. Know how to establish good advertising practices. This is important because you guys, there's scams everywhere, so it's having good advertising practices. have an understanding of the federal, state, and local fair housing laws, and then know what constitute as a reasonable accommodation and modification for people with disabilities under the Americans with Disabilities Act, and be equipped with understanding agency. So basically representing clients in a real estate transaction and contracts. So I'm just going to list off some things that you can be doing currently in your current position or something you're just good at. Problem solving, communication, people skills, networking, trustworthiness, integrity, time management, organization, good at technology. So if you have these types of skills, you're the perfect candidate. So let's talk about how to study, how to pass the exam. So what works for me is flashcards. So literally, I use different websites like Quizlet to find flashcards. And I'm old school. So before ChatGPT and stuff, I would literally go to Office Depot or Office Max, get some flashcards and hand write them and literally just be studying all day. That's something you can do if you want to physically feel something, or you can create your own flashcards online, I'm sure with any online source like Quizlet, for example. So what I do is, okay, so you attend the course. While you're attending the course, you need to take notes. You need to have a highlighter, pen, pencil, and you need to be writing as the teacher's talking or as you're self-studying. Write it down how it makes sense in your head. Things that you need to remember are dates, like the year or example, or what the actual law is. Exam Smart is another tool where you can go through those things, and that is really good because it will also tell you why you got the answer wrong. While you're doing this, you want to make sure you're continuously going over the information. It isn't just one and done, boom. You need to be looking at it every single day. Like I said, at least 2 hours. Before you go to bed, boom, 2 hours. While you're eating dinner, boom, 2 hours. Like I remember, like back in the day, I used to be even going out with my friends. And as we're sitting out, I'm on Quizlet on my phone studying in between, the music playing. While you're on the train, if you have a friend, your friend can help you study. So you need to be constantly looking at it, and that's how you will remember the information. Here's an example of a question that you might see on the exam. Jane is a pregnant 19-year-old who wants to rent a unit in a 4-unit apartment building. The owners live on site and have denied Sarah's application. Which statement is correct? A, the owner is exempt from fair housing laws for 4 units or less. B, the owner has discriminated because Sarah is pregnant. C, the owner is exempt because he is an immigrant. D, the owner has discriminated because pregnancy needs to be disclosed. What do you think the answer is? Comment below if you think it's A, B, C, or D. But these are the types of questions that will be on the exam that you will be prepared for when you're taking the 15-hour pre-licensing course. And like I said, you're studying every single day, doing flashcards, so that when this question comes up, you know, boom, this is the answer. So now let's talk about the actual day of the exam, right? You're 18, you've got your high school diploma or your GED, you've done the 15 hours of coursework. Now it's time to register for the exam. Okay, so don't be scared to take the exam. I know sometimes exam, it can seem scary, it can seem intimidating, you can get anxiety, but don't. It's pretty straightforward. So you register with PSI, which is a test center facility. They do all different types of testing for different industries. So this is what it looks like. You go for real estate, you do your Illinois leasing license, you sign up, you pay the $37, and it'll give you different addresses of where different locations are. You literally go there, you bring your ID and whatever other documents they're required to, and you're gonna sit in front of a computer, and basically they have a person there, a proctor, who's gonna be walking around, making sure you're not cheating, and you just take the exam. And it is timed, but don't worry, you have plenty of time. It's 50 questions. And before, I've had people that I've coached or mentored, and they would tell me, like, oh, I was worried that I finished the exam too fast, and I sat and I went over it again, or, I felt like I finished it too fast, that maybe I needed to, stay for longer. That's a normal feeling, but it's also a good thing. Like, if you went in and you finished, it means you studied, you know the material. I always recommend to go ahead and double check your answers, but don't feel like you need to stay for the whole time or use the whole 2 hours, because if you finish in 45 minutes out of 2 hours, that's great. You studied, you knew the questions, you went in and you did it. After that, you go and they print you out a paper that says you passed or failed, and then that's it. Then you do the next part. Okay. So you cannot activate your license without a sponsoring broker. So what that means is basically you have to find a company to hold your license. So now you have this license. You need to find a company to put it under, and that company is going to represent you. You're going to be an independent contractor under that company so that you can facilitate deals through the right channels. We all know of the big real estate companies. For example, there's Keller Williams, there's Brad and Warner, there's Jameson Sotheby's. I like companies like Fulton Grace or EXP. They're cloud-based. So basically, you can find companies like that, that basically you sign up, them know you have your Illinois leasing license. Now, there's different things that you can look for when finding a sponsoring broker. I'm going to talk about that in another video. But basically, once you find one, you should apply with them, and you do all the paperwork to have your license held under that company, and you can go ahead and get started. Some companies offer different things like trainings. Some companies, like if you find a smaller, some companies are broken down like in teams, for example, or you can find smaller companies. It's a quick search. You can look for people on LinkedIn, and it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. Like for me, there's two ways that I like. I like places that have I do like the cloud base, because there's no pressure to go into the office. Or if you're someone who likes to go into the office, you need to find a place that has office where you can come and sit down and do your work. Or if you want to be in a smaller boutique style brokerage, you can find that too, where maybe it's not a big company with 1,000 or 10,000 people, but maybe it's 25 people. So it just depends on what you're looking for. But there's so many brokerages in the world. But there's so many brokerages in Illinois, especially in Chicago. You just have to find the one that fits your needs, that works for you. So the course, I would say courses range roughly around $150 to $300 for the 15-hour course. Like I said, you can do the 3 different options. You can do the online self-paced, you can do a webinar, or you can go in person. So the course is roughly between $150 to $300. The exam fee is $37. License application through the IDFPR, around $125. Total under $500 to start your career. You rent your first apartment, you made your money back. You can stretch this out to 30 days if you want, and you can get it done in a month if a week feels too fast. But if you're like, boom, I'm ready to go, I got the money, I'm trying to get this money, then you can get it done in a week. Like I said, 15 hours. 8 and 8 is 16. You can get it done in 2 days, the course. You take the exam and find your brokerage. Like, you can literally get this done in a week. So it's up to you, but this is pretty much everything that you need to do to get started making that commission. So getting your license is just the beginning. After that, you need to do marketing, advertising, finding clients, facilitating deals, closing contracts, and doing that, and then also making sure you collect your commission. All that stuff can be done within the first 30 days of being a new agent. And those are some things I'm going to share some tips in the next videos if you want to know more about how to do that, how to market, where to market, how to pre-qualify people to make sure you're not wasting each other's time, how to find good apartments, how to find out good landlords, different things like that, how to negotiate. So as a new leasing agent, I'm going to be talking about those different kinds of things if you need help with that in upcoming videos. You can do it part-time or full-time. I think it's worth it, especially as an independent contractor. You can make your own schedule. It's worth it. You can do it part-time or full-time. My first year, I earned around $90,000. But I'm going to talk more about that in tomorrow's video. If you're seriously considering getting your Illinois leasing license or want to get your leasing license for your own state, I want you to actually do it. So tomorrow I'm posting exactly how much I made in my first year as a Chicago leasing agent, real numbers, so you know exactly what you're working toward before you spend $1 on that course. Subscribe so you don't miss it. I'll see you tomorrow.